George Pickens.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman really kind of selling out, bro.
When they coming to pay y'all $20, $30 million a year, looked at your total body of work and be like, we want to give you this, but you're doing this off the field.
You been there, Rich. Don't try to affect my man's pockets before he ever even got a chance to get paid.
I hate when it gets personal. As journalists, we were always taught you're neutral.
You went on First Take, you went at Skip because he was saying certain things about you, like you saying certain things about GP.
One got the numbers, one let the game on. Two different voices, never the same. Mic on fire when the truth collides. It ain't just one story, must be two sides.
Hey, speaking of having a gripe with the media, man. My dog GP, George Pickens.
Yeah.
Man, he recently had a tough game. You about to go see him this week. I'm sure he's going to make up for it. I'm sure he's going to make up for it.
I hope not.
But last week he had a very tough game where he seemed to, take a couple plays off or whatnot. And
from your perspective or from other people's?
From other people's perspective.
Okay,
I didn't watch the entire game, so I can't sit there and say my personal perspective is he took plays off.
Right.
But other people made that assumption and that, that was their viewpoint. And someone in particular, Richard Sherman, he voiced it and basically said George Pickens was being lazy on these routes. And the Cowboys should think twice before paying him this amount of money. Not word for word, but basically.
Now, is Richard Sherman considered a Hall of Fame player with great analysis, should I say, and context, or is he a journalist in this situation?
Look, man, he would call himself a journalist. What he's doing on TV, he would call himself a journalist. So look, my boy GP, George Pickens, he took exception to that, bro. He went on Twitter or Instagram, wherever he went, long message.
That they told him to delete after the fact.
Which he did.
Yeah.
Long message calling Richard Sherman every name in the book and telling him that he wouldn't be nothing without LOB and this and that. And George Pickens, he gets a little
He had been controlled
sometimes.
all season. He said, "You got me messed up."
Hey, look, it's still down there somewhere.
Exactly.
I'll bring it out whenever I feel
you
like.
You saw that Scully on in my draft process. You feel me? Like I'm that guy.
So this is my thing. This is sort of why I think players take extra exception to former players bad talking them in the media.
And it's a majority of that nowadays because
it's a lot of
there's not a lot of journalists like me on ESPN or First Take. It's all former athletes because y'all claim that's who y'all want to hear from. People who have lived those moments, went through those games. That's what y'all want to hear.
But we want to hear from a true and a real perspective. We don't want to hear the I'm assimilating to the journalism world perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they're just bitter. Because they making a lot more money now than they did before.
It's 100% possible, but they getting a lot of money too to be on them TV shows. And
not as much as those guys getting paid nowadays.
It is what it is. But for me, I think it's when you hear from a guy that's been there and done that, and has gone through the same situations you've gone through.
Facts.
Is privy to how the game is played, not just on the field, but off the field. And they understand that what somebody is saying can affect their pocketbook. You would expect them to handle with care when they do this. Not talk about, look, he shouldn't be getting paid. Yeah, you know what? Hey, mention his game. Talk about how he had a tough game. Talk about the way that he played, all that. But when you go into you got paid, sir. You got your money. You got what you could earn. But when you go into he shouldn't be paid this and that because of this one game, you should think twice. Look, you been there, Rich. Like I'm taking exception to that, bro. Don't try to affect my man's pockets before he ever even got a chance to get paid, bro.
Was it really just one game?
This past weekend, yeah. I mean, not this past weekend.
The antics that he's talking about. His antics. Is it really just one game?
I mean, he has antics that has occurred, but over this season, it seems to be,
You of course take this
turning
season
a new leaf.
with a grain of salt when you have a total body of work to analyze, right?
I mean, I understand that.
Ain't that what they do?
But if you talk about play, if you talk about somebody's performance on field, all it takes is one season.
So you telling me that general managers, when they come in to pay y'all $20-30 million a year, they only look at the last 16 games? They ain't never looked at your total body of work and be like, well, look, we want to give you this, but you remember, like, you doing this off the field.
I done seen. Look, if we're talking about on the field right now,
yeah.
If we're talking about on the field right now,
yeah.
You talk about a total body of work.
Mm-hmm.
I done seen some boo-boo years. One good year turned into how he get paid that. Like
we do talk about that a lot. We do.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm talking about. So, that should be the same way. If you come into my organization and I haven't had any problems with you and you've shown yourself to be a good teammate and you go on that field and you're performing and you're exceeding what our expectations were, and that's what we want in a player for our future, then bump what you did in Pittsburgh. That's look. Come on, I know you for who I know you for.
Yeah.
When I meet you, I'm judging you off what you show me.
Facts. Nah, I mean, I've said it before on earlier podcast episodes and things like that. Like, sometimes you got to wipe the slate clean and you got to just take a guy for who he is. Like, especially in this current season, George Pickens has done nothing but show up. He told you once before, I ain't worried about all these antics, how I look, this and that. Like, at the end of the day, I'm going to go ball when I need to ball and I'm going to get paid. He literally told you that in Pittsburgh. Yeah. And now he's doing that right now here in Dallas. And is going to have an opportunity to cash in and get a massive payday when it's all said and done. But I also think what I love when I watch analysts on NFL Network, NFL Live, all these other national shows, I love when they give us the X's and O's. Like when they break it down, this is the formation they was running. This is why this coverage was ran. This is why this corner converted. This is why this safety, this receiver went deep. I hate when it gets personal. I hate when it gets, well, he shouldn't get this, and this and this. I hate when it gets opinionated.
Exactly.
And it's like, as journalists, we were always taught, you're neutral. You're down the line. You just tell it how it is. You don't give your opinion about how you feel about it. You don't let them go overly in-depth about things. You giving it straight how it is and how it played out on the field. Whereas nowadays, the true journalists are dwindling. They're more becoming analysts. That's what these guys get called, analysts, because they want, like Eric Kendricks, we said, like he said on our podcast, he wants to hear from people who have played the game, people who have walked those shoes, like who have been in that fire, like, and you know what I'm saying? But I also think that sometimes people in those positions get hired straight from playing. 3 months later, they on TV, and it's like sometimes
not enough training.
I don't think it's enough training for them because I don't think that they're able to remove their personal feelings and their biasness out of situations. Like you got Kendrick Perkins, my man, going at Ja Morant talking about this. Why I don't mess with Ja because I put my butt on the line for ESPN to come here and do this. It's like
Kendrick also recently called Giannis Antetokounmpo a coward for not coming out publicly and asking for a trade.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like
going a little far.
I just don't like when former players feel like they say a lot of things that like other journalists wouldn't be comfortable saying or wouldn't be allowed to say. And so therefore when they say it gets a lot of attraction and it gets a lot of clicks, and then the bosses love that. So you
think they encouraging that?
They're becoming entertainers. That's what it is. Like there are very few people like that just are analytically good because they like, well, that's boring. People at home, like there is a certain audience for that, but like people want engagement. They want viral videos. They want social media trending topics, things like that. It's like Stephen A. Smith. He started out being down the line, neutral, telling you how it is, to now the loudest mouth on television, just saying anything that comes to mind, calling out whatever player he wants, calling out former employees that used to work there, and you hear nothing from him. I got you this job. I did this. Look at these ratings. They ain't nothing without me. And it's like, all right, man, are we journalists and reporting the facts, or are we just out here spitting our views and stuff? And I think that's where media is shifting nowadays, national media.
So that's why I say players feel like guys that do that and assimilating to that way of going about things are really kind of selling out, bro. Because when you was in, Richard Sherman, when you was playing and you went on First Take and you went at Skip, why was it? Because he was saying certain things about you, like you saying certain things about GP. Come on, brother. Like you doing exactly what you was going against when you was playing.
I think Max Kellerman did a good job of breaking down, like, people in those shows. What people don't understand is that's 2 hours. A 2 hour time slot.
I saw the way he broke it down. I like it.
And uninterrupted shows like that is 2 hours. So it's like, in layman's terms, that's really like an hour and 10 minutes of content with all the commercials and stuff factored in. You got to debate for an hour and 10 minutes every day, 5 days a week. That is hard to not just give straight down the line takes. Like, you gotta have some self-opinionated takes in that. Like, that's podcasting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's hard to be a true journalist and treat people with respect and give them like the dignity that they deserve, because your viewers don't want to hear that all the time. Sometimes they want to hear wild takes. They want to hear barbershop talk. They want to have something that other can ignite and spark other conversations. And so that's what you're talking about in our climate, in 2025. No one just wants authentic journalism. That's boring. People want hot takes. People want arguments. People want debates. That's what, like you love to say, people feed into negativity. It's not journalists that feed into it. That's just what gets picked up. And so I think that's the landscape that we're in right now. Honestly.
Hey, I think journalists might feed a little bit on it too now.
You can say that.
You can't just absolve them completely.
Until you watch local news, all stations for at least 2 weeks and read
all stations.
You give them a chance. Look, sportscaster 3 minutes long, bro. What are we talking about? Like, if it's not a show, watch 3. Just do me a favor. People at home who love to say journalists this, media this, watch your local news 5 days, just 1 week, 5 days at 9 or 10 o'clock every single night. Read the articles from the beat reporters from all your favorite teams. Watch how they cover your team. Then go turn on NFL Live, NFL Game Day on NFL Network, College Game Day, whatever. See how they cover your team differently. See what people who are saying about your favorite players who aren't at practice, who aren't at training camp. They're only watching the game. And let's be real. By the time they come on NFL Live on Monday at 4:30 to talk about these games, ain't no way in hell they watch 15 games from the day before, 15 2.5-hour games, and can talk about them in depth. Notice how people are covering your teams differently. It's levels to it.
Hey, thank you for sticking around with us and watching to the end of this video. Richard Sherman, a former athlete turned media member, making controversial takes. Another guy in that same boat is Cam Newton, is frustrated with how his media ventures are putting a pause on his career. Check this video right here and dive into it with us.
Stand for the truth, otherwise take a knee. Made it to the league, now we gotta take the lead. Must be two sides.